Hi, I'm Troy Alexander with Child Support Game Over. What I'm trying to do is lay the foundations for something to come. Um, I've been explaining about jurisdiction, status, and standing, and um, the different courts of the jurisdictions, such as the Admiralty Court, Common Law Court, and Trust Court. And this is all to give a foundation so that you can understand what's coming in the future. Um, I have a goal here, and that goal is to provide you with the ability to do three major things. The first is to avoid the child support system. The second is to extract yourself from the child support system. And the third is to make your higher claim on your offspring over the child support system. So if we can do these three things, one, keep men, teach men how to stay out of the child support system and retain their rights. Two, to extract themselves from the child support system once they've been caught in the snare. And three, to produce a higher claim on your offspring than the child support system. This will destroy the child support system. This will give men the power to overcome this evil, corrupt system. This is my goal. And this is why I am giving you this legal, so to speak, this understanding of their legal system and an understanding of law and jurisdictions and status and standing. These are it's going to all come together, and this is the reason why I'm going to these steps, to jump to conclusions that, oh, he's preaching straw man. I'm not preaching straw man. That's a straw man argument to say I'm preaching straw man. No, I'm not preaching straw man. I'm explaining the legal system, the law system, and the difference between legal and law, the jurisdictions, the languages of these different jurisdictions, the fact that there's the jurisdiction of the air, the jurisdiction of land, and the jurisdiction of water, and how these all come into play, and what is happening in these courts, and how to overcome it, how to win. I want to equip you with powerful kung fu to overcome the snares and traps and sucker punches that we are finding ourselves being hit with. So that is what's happening right now. I'm not saying, hey, you got to go in and argue straw man, because you don't know how to argue straw man. I haven't gone into it. And straw man really is a very wide term. Some people create a straw man, a phony position of yours, so that they can defeat you. That's something the media does quite a bit. They'll say, this is their position, when it's not their position. And then they'll dissect and destroy their position. But it was never their position. That's attacking a straw man. Another straw man is part of a fraud. That's where the legal straw man comes from. So no, y'all are jumping to conclusions. We haven't gotten there yet. I am laying foundation, and probably for me, one of the biggest foundations that, one of the epiphanies I had to have, one of the paradigm shifts, a way of looking at something different that I had to have, was when it comes to the word legal. We have been brainwashed. We are programmed by TV programming to think certain ways, to react certain ways. We've been all sent to, or most of us have been sent to government education centers with government-approved curriculum. They have not taught us law. They have not taught us the difference between legal and law. And there is a huge difference between legal and law. Legal, if legal was on the map, it'd be in Australia like Perth, and law would be somewhere like New York. There's such a huge difference between law and legal. And understanding that difference is one of the keys to seeing. And that's what I'm hoping to open your eyes to have that paradigm shift, to look at something that you thought you knew, much like this straw man. You think you know, oh, that's a straw man argument. But until you know, then you know, when I was a younger man, it was popular, these 3D or third eye drawings. They had all these different colors. And if you stared at the picture long enough, they're called magic eyes. The 3D image of something would pop out, and everyone was able to see them except me, it seemed. It took me hours staring at these stupid things, and suddenly, boom, I could see it. And then once I knew how to see it, I could look at other ones and see them. It's like your eyes have to be trained to look at something a certain way, and then boom, you can see it. And that's where I'm trying to get you guys. Because if we can all be on the same page and all be able to see this and all be able to attack it, it's defeatable. We can win. There are wins there. Our people haven't understood what the game is, or how the game is played, or things like the jurisdiction, the corpus juris, the legal versus the law. What's happened to America? That there's two Americas. That there's two systems here in this country right now. There is the United States of America, which is the lawful country, and then there is the usurper. The pirates have come in with a fake United States, a corporation. And most of us have been sucked into this fiction of the United States corporation and its legal system. See, one of the things that's kind of confusing when you first start studying this, you know that you can't give legal advice. You can't be part of the legal system without being a bar registered attorney. Well, that's because that's all having to do with the corporation, the satanic corporation that is come in like pirates and has been enslaving everybody in this country. We have been suckered into becoming slaves to this corporation and its legal system. Now, we can practice law. I could say I'm a lawyer. I can practice law to my heart's content, because law and legal are two different things. Like I said, legal's over there in Perth, Australia. Law's over there in New York, United States. They're that far apart. They're diametrically opposed. In our minds, we have been programmed that law and legal are one and the same. And that's where we've been tricked. One of the traps and tricks that they're using to confuse our minds so that we cannot see. And I'm trying to help you be able to see, because when you can see clearly what's going on, it all makes sense. And suddenly, boom, there's the door. There's the window. There's a big baseball bat to knock knots in their head. You got to be able to see, though. So that's what I'm working at. So one of the things that I want to cover the differences between law and legal. There's two kingdoms, and you might say, oh, you're trying to just shoebox it into just the two kingdoms. No, there's only two kingdoms. There's God's kingdom, and there's the kingdom that opposes God's kingdom. There's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the Bible and his kingdom, and there is the God of 1,000 names, Saturn, Apollo, Helios, Kronos, Osiris. Like there's some guy out there, oh, I'm Osiris, God of law. No, you're not the God of law. You're the God of legal maybe, but you're not the God of law. The true God of the Bible is the God of law. The usurping God who wants to destroy on God's kingdom is the God of legal. See, only God can create life. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob created life. The God of Kronos, Helios, Saturn, Satan, you could say, Apollyon, Osiris. He is the God of death, the Corpus Juris. He can only deal, his legal system can only deal with the dead. And they send a summons, it's a seance, to bring the dead spirit, call forth the dead spirit, and put commandments on it. So we'll do a comparison between the law of God and the legal system of Saturn. Marriage, you have holy matrimony. In Saturn's kingdom, you have legal marriage. So, I'm sorry, if you went and got a legal marriage, you got a satanic marriage. And when you become the legal father, you're the satanic father. The legal mother, the satanic father. The father of the dead, the mother of the dead. Living man, you're the father of your offspring, your sons and daughters. The law, God's kingdom, it's the Bible law. And under the legal system, which is corporations, the dead, corpse, you have corporate bylaws. As far as hierarchy, God's law is superior law. It is the law above all laws. Below that, you might have supreme law. This might be backwards. Anyway, you have the law. Below God's law, you have the laws of, say, the Constitution of the United States of America. You have treaties, which have supremacy. But God's is the highest. So you could supreme, or I guess that would be supreme law. And then I believe Constitution and treaties are superior law. And when you come down to Saturn's legal system, they're not law. It's ordinances, statutes, rules, policies, codes. These are not law. It is part of a legal system. In God's kingdom, the offspring belong to God. In the corporate system, Saturn's legal system, you get a birth certificate. You've registered them with the state. They consider that, now remember, the state of Wisconsin is a corporation. Wisconsin state is a geographical area, part of the United States. That's the difference. When you register them with the corporation, they claim ownership, and they create trusts, and they make you the trustee, the father, the legal father, the trustee, the one who has to pay. The trustee is the one who has to pay, such as child support. When you have, in God's kingdom, man is living. We the people, your people. In the legal system, man is considered to be dead, and you are a person. The form of government, God's kingdom, United States of America. America was named by a German map maker to represent God's kingdom, America, Reich, kingdom. America, the heavenly kingdom, it is a republic under legal system of Saturn and the corporate Washington, D.C., a branch of Crown Inc., which is, as we discussed, a branch of the Vatican. You are on a plantation. Fathers in God's kingdom have rights and responsibilities. In the legal system of Saturn, your rights are stripped. It is a matriarchal system, and you have responsibilities only. That brings us to structure. God's kingdom is patriarchal. Men must take the lead, be heads of their households, leaders, rulers, kings and priests. Saturn's, it's matriarchal. The authority, we are made in God's kingdom to be kings, priests, and judges. In Saturn's legal system and kingdom, you have Baal priests, such as judges and bar members, servants of the Baal god. For money, in God's kingdom, gold and silver. In our Constitution, it said a dollar, it defined a dollar. A dollar is a specific unit of silver, a specific measure, amount of silver. That is what a dollar is. In Saturn's kingdom, you have fiat and pretend. They have something called the dollar also because they're not creative. They're a cheap crap imitation of God's kingdom. They have fiat dollars. And in their kingdom, a dollar is not defined. It's a unit of pretend. That's why it's the faith. You have to have faith. You have to have more faith, brother, in that dollar, or it's going to collapse. In the home, in God's kingdom, you own your home as a land patent. You own it. You are a king on your land. That's how America was set up. Your land isn't taxed. But in Saturn's kingdom, you have a deed and a legal description, and you must pay taxes. Because you don't own it, it's registered with the state. When you have a deed is like when you get your car title. You don't get the original manufacturer's title. The state has that. The state owns your car. Unless you get a salvage title, or you salvage the car, or you pay cash, say for a brand new car, and you tell them you're going to register it out of country, meaning not register it with Washington, D.C., and now you can actually own the manufacturer's certificate, the true title to your automobile. See, when you have a deed, it's like a deed in trust. You have something like ownership, but they own it, and you have rights to make money on it and to transfer it, but you do not own it. They own and control. This is what's happening. We have been reduced to slaves on a plantation. We have been turned into slaves underneath the trusts of the children that are created by the state. They have taken your offspring, your sons and daughters, reduced them to fictions called children, created trusts, and made you the trustee. And they have turned your offspring into weights and chains and shackles on you as part of your slavery, taking 33% or 25% or 17% of your income, above and beyond the other taxes that Saturn's kingdom is taking from you. America still exists. This is what I'm telling you. This is the good news. There's good news. America still exists. You have been contracted into and under Saturn's legal system. And what I'm trying to do is open your eyes and give the foundation of this law versus their legal system, of what's happening with these courts. And when you have this foundation, then I can arm you to go out in battle and regain your rights as fathers, and to throw off the shackles and chains of this heinous slavery system. So that's the good news. I'll bring more information in the future. Troy Alexander for Child Support Game Over. Please like and subscribe. Please hit that like button. That helps us get in front of other people. And hopefully I'll see you soon.